Good morning. This is April Keim from the Science Department, and I am going to demonstrate a close reading for science. I chose to do an article, but some other great options for science are lab reports and graphs. The article I chose is called New Ligament Discovered in Knee, Belgian Surgeons Say. This would be used in my senior anatomy and physiology class. For my students' first read, I would have them read the text, circle any unfamiliar or confusing words, and define the following vocabulary. Some of these terms they will know already, some of them they won't know, some of them they should know, but either way they should be defining all of those. The next thing I'll do is have them create a quick 3-sentence summary of the article. Depending on the level of the student, this may not fall under a first read, but because it's a fairly simple article for the higher level students that I have, a 3-sentence summary would be something they could do on a first read. The next thing I would have them do, still under that first read, is activate any background knowledge. So the questions I have for them: what are the 4 main ligaments surrounding the knee? Where would the anterolateral ligament be located? At this point, they should know their 4 main ligaments surrounding the knee. They will also be very familiar with directional terms. So right away, they should know that the anterolateral would mean anterior is the front, lateral is the side. So those are, again, things that they should know already. For the second read, I would ask them, what are the opposing views in this article? Does the author side with one of the views more than the other? And then to highlight textual support. This is something they just should notice, as most scientific journals and articles that we'll be reading always have opposing views. So this would be a good option for their second read. And then for their third read, I would ask them to come up with a hypothesis. So given the information about various structures being damaged during an ACL tear, and the fact that 10 to 20% of people with a repaired ACL tear aren't able to fully recover, come up with a hypothesis as to how this percentage could decrease. So based on the given information, they're forming a hypothesis, so that's what they would do for their third read. And then, as an extension activity, I would actually have them do some research. So throughout the article, the issue of the anterolateral ligament usually being injured during an ACL injury, as well as other structures being damaged during an ACL injury, is important. So I would have them research an athlete that has had an ACL injury, discuss what other structures were damaged during that injury, discuss how the athlete got that injury, and if they are able to fully recovery time. So now they can take this article and turn it into a research activity that connects to real life. So there is my science example. That is also the first time I have done a close read. So after I get better at this, I could end up coming up with some new ideas about this article, as well as other articles. It's definitely something I would like to try with a graph or a lab report, especially with a graph. I think that would be something cool to do with my students. So if you have any questions, I would actually probably ask Kara or Kristen, because they are really good at this, but I could possibly help too, especially in the science department. Thank you for listening.